Kia ora guys, welcome to Talking About Sports here with Roman this morning. So yeah, just in the news of the Warriors, their round 17 loss against the Dolphins on Saturday night. Yeah, it was a tough loss for the Warriors. I will say, it's never easy, taking that loss after um, a remarkable season the Warriors have had so far, but that loss last night was gripping. It just reminded me of that Panthers loss, about a month ago that they lost over at Combank Stadium against the Panthers. And yeah, the Warriors are looking the odds at the moment. It's definitely got that next man up mentality that's facing the Warriors and definitely is playing to their advantage. Don't feel so disheartened by the loss against the Dragons last night. The only reason being that I don't feel disheartened about it is because we don't have our full string lineup. You looked at the Dolphins last night. The only player that actually really went off was Isaiah Katoa. He went off for majority of the game. Was ruled out due to a dislocated wrist injury. Cody Nikarima went off for a short stint on the sideline. Also, you saw basically the Dolphins just looked the odds throughout the whole game. Very clinical with the use of ball. Absolutely carved up basically our edges. They also ran through the middle a few times, their line breaks. One surprising thing that really got to me was the fact that they targeted a specific area. Basically, each set that they ran through Adam Pompey. They also ran through a few of our players. I remember Tanner Stowers-Smith had to cover across on the wing there, as well as Tamati Martin. Fantastic try save of tackles in the early first half. But yeah, I could just see that it was going to be a close game. Could definitely see that the Dolphins were way more hungry than the Warriors for this game. I think the Warriors did a remarkable job to hold the Dolphins at bay in the first half to keep it relatively close. But yeah, ultimately the Dolphins were a far better and superior team throughout the whole game. And it was remarkable, it was a miracle that the Warriors did try to get back into the game. But I definitely felt that they let's just put it there. The 2-point loss was really tough to bear. I got over it pretty quickly. That's something that I'm obviously getting better with as the games progress and as the Warriors lose. But yeah, a couple of close games with Panthers, Sharks, and Dolphins now, only losing by 2 points. The positive thing also with the Dolphins game that I took out of last night, round 17 at Brisbane Suncorp Stadium, was the fact that the score remained exactly the same margin that the Warriors had beat the Dolphins in Wellington earlier this season. So, they had won 20 points to 18 down in Wellington in, I believe, round 8 earlier this season. And, to only lose, basically by 2 points against the Dolphins, 26-24 last night. Both sides, are basically 1-1 for head-to-head with no points differential advantage. So that was a good point taking out of that loss last night, was the fact that we are where we are on the table due to the reflection of the way the Warriors have actually played, their mentality. Also, I could see Jackson Ford's presence last night was definitely felt in terms of him, not being in the side due to his pectoral injury he faced last week against the Cowboys. And Tanner Boyd out due to Brisbane round, the Magic round, Achilles injury there. So, I'm facing an Achilles tendon injury rehabilitation myself. So I know that the process is going to be long and lengthy there. But yeah, just in conclusion, basically, you could feel that the players were missing, Rocco Berry, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, that's 2 already. Also just naming, Lika Halasima, James Fisher-Harris, some of the leadership players there. So It's good to see Mitch Barnett step up. I felt that he had a fantastic game throughout. There were some players missing, like Aaron Clark. I felt that he didn't really show up. Same with Murata Niokore. So I think our forwards definitely went missing against the Dolphins in this game, and our halves and our backs tried to do their best to keep us in the game. Some silly errors from Adam Pompey that costed us ultimately the game. The stripped ball play that Cody Nikarima had got was definitely a momentum shift, and I felt that essentially was the game turner there. The fact that you just dip and dash into the line on your first tackle of the first set, and all that hard work had been done, and then all of a sudden drops his body into the shoulder of a small player like Cody Nikarima, strips the ball, and there you go, it's done. And then the Dolphins capitalised on that. Obviously, that beautiful try by Sam Healy was definitely a clinical moment for the Warriors in the last 5 minutes. I felt that was the game, set, match done for the Warriors. I got up on my knees and toes and everything, even though I've got this moon boot and I'm walking around the house and, not ultimately the best with my balance at the moment, but I did feel a sense of relief. The Warriors were back in the game, things were looking good, and I can relax. I can enjoy the rest of my Saturday night. But hey, look, that's me just being a passionate Warriors fan. I will say, nothing of obviously biased ref calls came into the game. I reflected it, looked at the highlights again, and I can ultimately say the best side won at the end of the day. A few missed kicks from the Dolphins. Ultimately, they would have been 24-8, 30 points to 24. Good to see Adam Pompey made all his kicks. But yeah, they were basically 6 points in it, one try difference. So ultimately, yeah, it was great. That Selwyn Cobbo guy, my lord, no wonder why he's in the Queensland COP, fantastic player, honestly, great finisher, a few silly areas from him throughout the game, but, he capitalised when the moments were important. You had Jermaine Osako, really stand up for leadership for the Dolphins on kicking T duties. So, yeah, that last kick, I was praying that he swung it to the right, but no, he obviously stepped up to the plate in the clinical moments and, yeah, made it. So, yeah, it just goes to show, obviously, the competition has started to really tighten up in terms of the top four, who it's going to be. You have, obviously, the top four very close on points differential, very close on the overall points count. Still at the Panthers, a couple of wins ahead of the Warriors. But, yeah, you have the likes of the Knights, the Rabbitohs, the Sea Eagles, the Roosters, as well as the Dolphins in the top three with the Warriors and Panthers. So, yeah. On other news, it's really interesting to see that the Premiers, the Broncos, have really slid down the table this season. So we've faced them in a few weeks in Brisbane, so it's going to be really interesting to see how things go with that. But 8 more games remaining for the Warriors. Majority of those are against bottom 8 teams, like the Titans. You've got the Dragons. You've got the Titans, the Dragons, the Bulldogs, the Broncos. So that's about... And the Tigers, that's about five out of their last 8 games against bottom 8 teams. So the record so far has been great for the Warriors against bottom 8 teams. So let's just keep it that way. A win's a win. We need to win it out, grind it out, and then focus on finals footy in September when September comes. So that's my wrap. That's my review for round 17. Thank you for tuning in and listening. It's been a minute, but I'm back, and it's great to be here for you guys. So pleasure, great to see you guys, and great to be able to talk about a fantastic and beautiful sport that rugby league is. Amen, kia kaha katoa, and have a beautiful rest of your weekend, and enjoy round 18. Warriors do have their third and final bye of the season, and then they face the Tigers in round 19 with potentially James Fisher-Harris and Lika Halasima returning to the lineup duties. Also, in other news, just before I go, I really feel that Luke Metcalf does need to come back to the side sooner rather than later. Time's ticking. It's running out for his opportunity to shine. So we'll see what obviously happens in the next couple of weeks. But being him on the bench in the lineup, I feel that there is an inch closer for his return into the full grade team or even into the interchange. All good. See you guys. Bye-bye.